Today, I have another real-life case to share. Even the client himself is extremely envious of the outcome. What you see here is a plot of land over 700 square meters with a frontage of 20 meters. It's a piece of land with excellent development potential because you can actually walk to Fountain Gate, the second largest shopping center in all of Melbourne. What's even more impressive, and why my client is the envy of others, is that we can rent out this house for $1,200 per week. In other words, after the initial investment, the house was purchased for just over $800,000, and then about $90,000 was spent on renovations. So, for a total price of $900,000, this property can completely cover the mortgage with rental income while waiting for a future builder or developer to come and acquire the land. Let me first show everyone the vibe of the neighborhood. Many friends who aren't in Melbourne might think I've heard the policies here aren't good, that the rental laws are really strict. Actually, the rental laws in Melbourne are just as strict as those in Sydney. In some details, Sydney, or rather New South Wales, has even stricter rental laws. Anyway, let's take a quick look at the surrounding street view here. You can see that the property across the street already has a fence up. I checked and they're planning to do a subdivision into 3. Over here, they've also started putting up a fence, and the portable toilet is already in place. Next door, they're going to do a multi-unit development. We'll go take a look over there in a bit, and there are 3 more units that have already been completed. So last year in Victoria, the street setback requirements were further relaxed. Many savvy developers or builders have already started getting involved. Let's go take a closer look. How can you rent out a $900,000 house for $1,200? At the same time, I want to remind everyone again, whether you're experienced or not, whenever you're buying an investment property, my view has always been this. Instead of buying 3 properties in the middle of nowhere, it's really better to buy 1 or 2 good ones. The total price might be the same, but it saves you a lot of trouble. And what you're buying is a city with nearly 6 million people, the most populous place in Australia. Alright, so this is our first property. This first property is a typical strategy. So first there's a kitchen, and since tomorrow is the first open inspection, I'm here today to do a final check on the curtains, some bathrooms, and other details. This is a typical small granny flat with a usable area of about 20 square meters and currently has a brand new bathroom. In the current market environment, this property can be rented out for $320 per week. Alright, let's go back to the entrance. It has an east-facing private entrance, and the second unit is accessed from here. So why do I say the second unit? Actually, we've converted this house into a total of 3 units. So tomorrow's open house will be very lively. The doors to the second and third units are here. This one is the door to the third unit. We'll take a look at that in a moment, but let's check out the second unit first. Okay, so this is the entrance to the second unit. When you enter, there's a kitchen first, and to the left of the kitchen, there's a laundry area. This laundry was left by the previous landlord. If you turn left here at the laundry, this is the first room, and over here is the bathroom with a shower. At the end here, there's another room. Since this one is a bit bigger, we've set the price at $450 per week. Alright, let's head back. Okay, and there are no issues here either. Alright, for the third step actually, you can walk from over there or from here. The whole story here is that all the tenants share this area. The third unit is over here. Now let's go inside. And if you look to the left, it's also a small granny flat style room. We've set the price for this one at $320 per week. It also has an air conditioner, and there's a newly built, fully equipped kitchen. If you turn to the right, there's a brand new bathroom. Alright, let's take a look at another property. This one is just a 1-minute walk away. I also had a brief chat with the builder earlier. He bought this piece of land himself, and currently there are 3 units built on it. The developer and the builder are actually the same person. So, what's their situation? He bought the land for over $800,000, and now there are 3 houses built on it. One of them has already been sold off plan, with someone offering almost the original asking price. So if you do the math, he bought the land for about $800,000, and he told me that building these 3 units, since he built them himself and didn't factor in any margin, the total construction cost for the 3 was $1.2 million. So this piece of land plus the houses is worth around $2 million. These 3 units together can sell for about $3 million. In other words, as a developer, if you do this project today, you're already making a profit, right? So what does that mean? Yes, they are a few brothers working on this project together. So actually, you see, what is our attitude? There's another point I've always emphasized. Don't be overly superstitious about the size of the land. Look at this. It's 730 square meters. Why can they build 3 units? It's precisely because this plot is 730 square meters. If it were only 680 square meters, they wouldn't be able to build 3. So when you're choosing the size of the land, you also need to consider its frontage. Each council's planning regulations vary, and the house orientation also matters. So when helping clients choose a 750 square meter plot, there is a lot of research and reasoning behind that decision. For example, a 650 square meter plot across the street might only allow 2 units instead of 3, cutting your profit despite a similar purchase price. While one plot subdivides into 3 lots worth 800,000 each, the other might only yield 2 lots at a lower value. You must realize the potential of what you are buying is completely different. Now let's go back to our strategy. Take the rental income from the property we just looked at, and then you can use it to cover other properties. Our strategy is actually to target future builds or future developers. We use positive cash flow to hold on to that piece of land for now. And then in the future, we can sell it to these developers. Why? Because once these 3 houses, each worth $1 million, are all sold, right? The surrounding builds, the surrounding developers, and even some individual buyers after the sale, they will all continue to come in and develop. That will gradually bring vitality to the area, driving up the prices here, and then there will be more and more comparisons. So when I talk about development potential, it means it can bring additional appreciation potential.